Whether your proposal is a service contract, whether it's an ultrasound product, a monitor, it doesn't matter what your proposal is, whatever it is, whether it's sales training on my part, your proposal has to do certain things. It has to, in fact, function as a vehicle to carry benefits. And that's what that note's all about, note number 3. It's another definition of the word proposal. It's an unselfish definition, if you will, so if you'll note it. It says a proposal is a vehicle for carrying benefits. Note 3. Now, what that means is this. Chris, no customer that you'll ever sell buys for your reasons. They buy for their reasons. You know, there are some exceptions to that. There's usually a little 7-year-old kid at your door saying, I'm selling candy to work my way through computer camp. You know, so you'll give them a few bucks. You didn't really buy the candy. That doesn't work with us. Well, when we get to where we're at, it has to be that that customer perceives something. It sounds like this. Hey, I'm better off after I bought from Hewlett-Packard than before I bought from them. And it might come in the form of, aha, I never saw that before. So you can characterize yourself as an educator if you want, which I think is what sales really is, certainly a master communicator, because you know that in many instances what you're trying to sell is right. I know it too, but I don't sell everybody. So when I don't sell somebody, what's the academic description of how I failed? I didn't get them to understand that they would be better off after they bought from me than beforehand. Otherwise, they would have bought from me. That simple. Not so simple, but that's the approach we're going to take. So this is not a course that will teach you tricks. It's not a course that will teach you how to sell ice boxes to Eskimos. We're not going to take any approaches to flim flam. What it really is a straight analytical approach to selling. What do you sell? Why is it a good idea? I'll give you a good example. We have Kodak as a client. A few years later, a small little camera company, whose name I won't mention, I'll tell you, Keystone came to us. We looked at the Keystone account. We did not take it because we didn't know how to teach them how to sell that camera. It had no redeeming qualities. It wasn't even necessarily a good buy as cheap as it was. I mean, you certainly want to wind up with a picture when you're done. So when we look at a client, Hewlett-Packard's easy for us, but when we look at most of our clients, we're saying, can they win? So the good news is you can win. Now, I want to take you to the analytical steps. And if you look at note number 4, it says features and benefits. And if you'll note, it says proposal equals a cause to effect relationship. This is going to seem a little bit like a physics formula, but it's not. What it really says is a proposal, cause to effect, and what I want you to do is pick up on language. Would you write underneath the word cause the word feature? And underneath the word effect, the word benefit. Now, there's a couple problems with features and benefits as you may have ever learned it before, or that you'll have just because you're seeing it the first time. The first problem is separating features from benefits. Nice and easy to say, oh yeah, this is cause, this is effect. The truth of the matter is when you get to the hard stuff, which is analyzing your proposals, which we'll be to in a few hours, they start to fuzz up. In fact, you'll do worse on your own proposals at first than you'll do with objective things. So I'm going to start with some dumb things that you don't sell just to get the concept in place. Because you know more than I know about your Hewlett-Packard products or what you're trying to sell, and you might be able to fool me. So I'm going to stay where I'm comfortable just till I'm sure the concept's in place. Then we'll slip over to Hewlett-Packard. I promise you one other thing. You'll walk out of here Thursday afternoon with a neat tool to separate those two. Absolute promise, okay? So let's define those two terms. Feature, item B. Pen in hand. It says a feature is what it is, a descriptive term. It's nomenclature. It's an inherent or built-in characteristic. That's a little tricky, but just think about it for a minute. It's inherent, which might mean it might be part of it by accident. That's good. Or it's built in, which might mean somebody designed it that way. That could be a design feature or some aspects of material or whatever. It's causal in nature, and if you underline the word tangible, it tends to be a tangible fact. That'll be our best clue in terms of feature and benefit. For example, don't challenge this because I don't know if it's true or not. I just want you to accept this as a fact. This glass is a 4-ounce glass. Not what it weighs, what it will contain. It's a fact because, Chris, we can go to the restaurant right behind it is the kitchen someplace in there. They better have a measuring cup. And we can put 4 ounces in the measuring cup and it will either fill the glass or it won't. And you know it will because that's a 4-ounce glass. So that's a fact. We're not going to get away from that. That's nice and easy. Look at the definition of a benefit. A benefit answers the question. That's why it's in quotes. So what does it mean to me specifically? Me being the person you're trying to sell, not you, the salesperson. Helps to make a gain or avoid a loss. Some comments later will include that avoiding a loss, believe it or not, is a stronger motivator than making a gain. That's a sad commentary, but all the research shows that to be true. It's the effect side of the cause and effect relationship. So now what we have is a feature which is factual and a benefit which is an effect. Now I want you to watch something. A high percentage of communicators want to talk on this side of this formula, feature. Now you could think about why. It's real easy. This is usually what you'll find in your product literature. It's usually what they taught you in product school. Also, you're not going to get any gaffe here. This is a fact. You know, if you say something like, this is made out of X, it's made out of X. When the research goes on, it finds out that the majority of buyers, when they make the buy decision, buy on this side. So what they're saying is, I buy for my reasons, and here we are sometimes, and it's only this problem over here with us, wanting to be feature-oriented, the more technical you are, the worse this problem becomes for us. You just get to know too much. So here we are communicating on this side, and people are buying on this side. That's the first problem that we have. Now, I want you to get that at a gut level, so I'm going to take you through a real quick understanding of why people are trying to stay on this side, okay? Just think about this for a minute. Mark, I'm going to ask you to accept the demotion. Will you do that? Sure. I want to turn you into the catering manager of this hotel. Your job is to set up these meeting rooms. Don't do it. But unfortunately, that's what you are. You're a catering manager. I sell glasses. So I come in to see you one day, and I say to you, Mark, that's 4 ounces. Now, you can hear all kinds of things from Mark under those circumstances. He might say nothing. He might sit back and make an animal noise that sounds like this. Don't get excited by that. They've learned that response. However, let's say you've got 12-ounce tumblers or 6-ounce tumblers or 8-ounce tumblers in here. I've got an idea I want to sell you. So I say, fact, featured 4 ounces. Mark, what I think that means to you in a meeting setup is as follows. Now I want to get on the benefit side. It's a relatively small volume of water. It will take care of the thirst of the student, but at the same time, 2 people sitting next to each other won't empty the water pitcher in one set of pours. And then Tom Kapowitz won't be right down the hall up your nose saying, get the people in there and service the goddamn room. Now, that might make some sense to him to go to a smaller vessel, but here's what he could say, and that's why so many people worry about features and benefit. He could say, Paul, see these things? I bought a trainload of those that was in a wreck. I don't know how many hundreds of them I have. I paid 21 cents a piece for them. They're cheaper than the glass. I've got a suite of rooms here in this hotel filled wall-to-wall, floor-to-ceiling with them. I could put one of these in front of each student, let them drink right out of the goddamn water pitcher. Now, you've all heard objections, haven't you? And there I am, hanging out, swinging in the breeze, saying, oops. So if I'm not careful, I might say, oh boy, I better stay with 4 ounces, man. That's safer than hell, right? And that's a problem. Because what I really need to do is find out, in Mark's case, what benefits will turn him on. Maybe through some good probing questioning, maybe through some good sales calls on the front end so I get my information together, put my proposal together, and come back with a targeted proposal that meets his needs. So good selling, first of all, understands the real needs and explains how you meet those needs, which is benefit selling. So now, as long as I'm in the building, Jim, can I demote you too?
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to take you and make you the restaurant manager. Probably a little better job than this, but not much, okay? And you buy glasses too. But since the only thing I know about restaurants is I eat there, I stop in because it's nice to put another call on my call report, right? So I stop in and say, hey, Jim, 4-ounce glass. Safe. He said, by God, I think you're right. Why don't you leave you a sample? And that's the end of that sales call. So let's look at the problems. Over here, one, I'm going to take some risk, and I'm wrong. Number two, I might have to learn something about your business to do this. That's a pain in the ass. Number three, you may not be honest with me. All kinds of problems over here. But far outweighs statistically the results you're going to get over here. So I want to take you through a real little quick view of how to do that. A few years ago, in fact, Tom walked right by me this morning, didn't recognize me because I've lost some weight. A few years ago, I weighed 340 pounds. That's right. In fact, more than a few years ago, right before Mary Jo stopped it. And that was enough to scare anybody. But the point is, I lost a lot of weight since then. When you're 340 pounds, which is several years ago, you are in an era of men's clothing called the double knit leisure suit. Does anybody remember their dads wearing them? Okay. Now, I had one, obviously. My wife said it was the low point in the history of men's fashion. But when you're 340, you also have another problem. The problem is you cannot walk in a store and buy clothes in the normal fashion. You must go to what they call a big and tall man shop. And that is pure bullshit. I've never seen anybody but fat people in these shops, okay? That's what they're trying to do. I had been to a party, and double knit leisure suits were hitting the street. And some guy at the party says to me, have you seen these new polyester double knit suits? And of course, I know I'm not going to be able to buy one for a minimum of 6 months. Why? Because big men's fashions are behind the normal fashion. You remember the shirt that came out one color to collar, the other color of the shirt? Remember that? They never made those in 21-inch neck, honest. Never got there. So there's a delay. So I know I can't buy this thing, so I'm not being too interested. This guy says, man, they're greater than French toast. You really ought to look into them. And finally I say to him, look, you realize how many polys you have to kill to build a suit for a guy my size? Leave me alone, you know. Now I go into my fat man shop, and I need a suit. And I walk in, and George, who I've been dealing with since before God invented dirt holler, hey, Mr. Riga. And I think that's good. I haven't been in there for 7 months. So how you doing, George? He says, good. To say, he says, don't you travel a lot? Now, I think that's very good. And normally I'm not high on retail sales. This guy's good. Yeah. He said, what do you do when you get into a hotel room, unpack your suit, and it looks like you slept in it? So sometimes you can hang on the back of a bathroom door, turn the shower on full hot, and steam the wrinkles out. I said, but you also take the creases out and add 11 pounds to the suit. But it'll work. He said, I want to show you something. I want to show you a suit that won't wrinkle. I don't know if that's how you spell wrinkle. I think that people that spell a word one way lack flexibility. So we're going to be flexible this week. No points off. He said, let me show you something. We walk over to the double knit rack. And he takes, you remember those things? They're amazing. The patterns were something to behold. He takes this off the rack and he ties the knots of the pants into 3 knots. The second knot and the third knot he pulls with a snap. Now he's got 3 knots in those legs tied it together. So what did I just do? You ruined the suit. He said, we'll see. He said, now I want to show you something else. I have my wolf jacket on. If I put it back on now, you would see it. He said, hug yourself. Now, you go to hug yourself, and you all know with your wool jackets, you can pull the sleeves out if you do it enough, right? He said, now, put on this polyester jacket. I put it on. He said, now hug yourself. You remember those things? They're like pajamas. They're wonderful. You wrap them around. He said, you see, Mr. Riga, double knit is is loose, and therefore it's comfortable. It will stretch, and it's comfortable. He says, you don't have to worry about getting in the back seat of an automobile and thinking you're going to blow the ass out of the pants. He said, let's go buy some shirts and ties. We buy some shirts and ties. We come back. He unties the knots of the pants. They don't wrinkle. And all I want you to see is that day, I bought my first lime green double knit leisure suit. Went well with my Hawaiian shirt. It really did. No, but I did buy a green leisure suit. And I bought them for these reasons, not these reasons. I have a technical background as a plant manager and manufacturing. I know that polyester is inextricably interwoven, no pun intended, to won't wrinkle. I know that. That's besides the point. This is the cause, this is the effect. I walked out of there because of the effect.